Hello, viewers and learners. Welcome to Fike Mathematics Theorem. And today we're going to be looking at a topic in mathematics called Venn diagrams in sets. Venn diagrams in sets. And today, the question we have here is: as part of his project, a final year student of music interviewed some undergraduate students on the type of music they like listening to. Okay, and the story continues. All right. So, but before we look into these questions, as usual, you already know that I will definitely have something for you for every moment we have the opportunity to be watched like this, to be watched like this. All right. So today, I want to encourage you as a student. If you're already seeing yourself as a failure, your failure is not the end point. All right. So what you are supposed to do is make your failure a stepping stone to your success. All right. Think about Thomas Edison that uh, think about Thomas Edison that discovered the electric bulb. You could hear his story that he failed 99 times, yet he didn't give up. So no matter how many times you have failed, you can always put yourself together, put all those failures together, make them stepping stone to your success. Okay, so it is what you believe that you receive. If you if you believe that you can do better, of course, you will do better. So it's a matter of your belief. It's not a matter of the opinion of anybody concerning you. So don't accept man's opinion as your final verdict, right? Accept God's opinion concerning you as the final verdict and work with that. And you're going to see yourself turning out a success. Remember, I say work with God's final verdict concerning you. You must work with it because even if God has said it and you do not work with it, it is gonna be it's gonna remain there and nothing's gonna work until you work it out. All right. So today we are looking at Venn diagram, and the question I have here is: as part of this project, a final year student of music interview someone. Now, when you see a question on set like this, the first thing you're supposed to look out for that will determine how your Venn diagram is going to look like is the one that connects all the group that is being talked about. Okay, so and that is the one that intersects, right? So there's intersection. So the one that intersects all the categories that are being talked about in the question. So that's what you should look out for because that is what will determine the kind of diagram that you're going to have. All right. So if you look at this, if you look at this question, we have here that if three students liked listening to all the three types of music, and that's where we are going. If they didn't give us that, we are going to represent it with a letter. All right. Since you have been given, you you can draw your Venn diagram this way. I hope this is not too small. Okay. All right. So you have that because we are talking about three categories here. We have jazz, we have reggae, and we have funk. Okay. So jazz, 20, 30 like listening to jazz. So personally, that 30 that you are given, that 30 that like listening to jazz, it doesn't mean that you should write it within the circle that has been allocated to jazz. Okay. So what you're supposed to do is just find a way to write it outside. Don't write it inside the space yet because if you write it here, what you are telling us is that 30 students, 30 students are the only students that like listening to jazz, and you have not determined that. All right. So 30 students like listening to jazz, then 20 like listening to reggae. So you represent it with R. You can also put it out there. Okay. In fact, don't use equal to. You can do it like this so that it won't mean that you are telling us that all of them that like listening to reggae are 20. No. So, what's the next one? 10 students. Okay, 20 also like listening to funk. Okay, funk, 20. All right, you have done that. Now, the next thing is three students like listening to all the three types of music. So, that is the intersect. That is J intersects intersection R intersection F. Number of J intersection R intersection F equals 3. Okay, so That is three there. So that's the student that like three number of students that like listening to all the three types of music. 32 like listening to any of the three types. 32 did not like listening to any of the three types of music. So that one is it is straightforward. Okay, so you write it outside 32. So they are not within any of the category we are looking at. So they will be outside of the circles, all right? But within the universal. Okay, so you have the universal that is yet to be known. All right. So the number that like listening to jazz only. So it means the first thing we want to look out for is number that like listening to jazz only. That's the number of jazz intersection R complement intersection F complement. That means we are separating R and we are separating F. We are only looking at jazz only. All right. But before you can do that, you need to know the number of those that like jazz and reggae. Okay, and the number of those that like jazz and funk, so that you can separate, you can subtract their value and the intersection, the number that intersects the three categories, so that you can subtract all of them from this 30 to get the number of jazz only. Okay, so now just follow me, just follow me. Now 10 students like listening to jazz and reggae. Okay, 10 students like listening to jazz and reggae. Now uh, you cannot just write that 10 directly. Okay, so that 10 will have to be 10 minus the intersect, the number that intersects all of them, the value that intersects all of them. So 10 minus 3, and that's 7. Okay, all right, 10 minus 7, that's 3. Okay, so to get, then the next one is 10 like listening to jazz and funk. The same way, the same thing you did here, you also subtract it from the value that intersects all of them, 10 minus 3, and that's also 7. Okay, so that means to get the number of jazz only, to get the number of jazz only, it's going to be addition of these three. Remember, they all partook out of this circle. They all partook out of this circle. So we are going to subtract these three from 30. So that will give us 7 plus 3 plus 7. So number of jazz only is going to be 30 minus addition of these three. 7 plus 3 plus 7. And that's going to give us 30 minus, add this, all this will give us 17. 30 minus 17, that's 13. So it means the number of jazz only, number of those that like listening to jazz only are now 13. All right. The next thing you want to look out for is the number that like listening to reggae only. That like listening to reggae only. Also, to determine that these are the whole circle that like listening to reggae. Gbogbo àwọn like láti máa listen to reggae, those that like listening to only reggae. So, gbogbo wọn yẹn, you are going to get those that like listening to reggae only. You will have to get those that like listening to both reggae and funk also. So, I think we were given 9 students like listening to reggae and funk. So the same thing you did here, you also do the same thing to that 9. 9 minus 3, and that's going to give us 6. Okay, so to get number of those listening to that like listening to reggae only, that means J complement. J complement, when you hear complement of a set, what it means is um, that means you are separating apart from J, it means apart from that set, every other thing that remains. Are we together? Every other thing that remains apart from that set, that's the literal meaning of complement. Are we together? So it means what you are not like we always say it in Yoruba, ẹni tó wà ní àwọn nǹkan tí ó wà nínú ìyá tí kò sí nínú ọmọ. Are we together? So nǹkan tó wà nínú ìyá tí kò sí nínú ọmọ òun ni ìtumọ̀ complement. Okay, so J complement intersection R, because we want to find R only, reggae only. So we are not going to put complement on that. So that means intersection F complement. So we are only considering only reggae. So we are saying that apart from jazz, apart from funk, okay, only reggae. So that will be the same thing we did here. We are going to subtract the addition of these three. All these three that partake out of these sets are going to subtract them. So that will be 20 minus 6 plus 3 plus 7. And that gives us 20 minus addition of these three, that's 9 plus 7, that's 16. 20 minus 16 is going to give us 14. Okay? 14. So the next one is the number that like listening to funk only. The number that like listening to funk only, the same thing. So that's J complement, intersection R complement, then intersection F. So that means we are talking about only F. Okay, only F. We are saying that apart from jazz, apart from reggae, all right, only F. And that will be 20, 20 minus addition of these three that partook out of the circle that is representing funk, and that's 6 plus 3 plus 7. 6 plus 3 plus this 7. So that will be 20 minus 9 plus 7. That's 16 also, and that is 14. All right. So the total number of undergraduate students that were interviewed. So we are talking about universal now. The total number of undergraduate students that were interviewed. That means including those that do not like any music, and those that like all the music, those that like only jazz, only reggae, and only funk. We are going to add all of them together, and that will give us the universal set. Also, those that like two music at the same time. So we're going to add all of them together. That's what gives us the universal set. Okay, so and that will be, so number of universal is equals to this plus this plus this. So that will be addition of 13. Oh, okay, yes, we're supposed to put this. Okay, so it's going to be addition of all of them, and that will be 14. Let me start with those that like just only. 13 plus 14. Okay, let me illustrate it. Let me write out the formula. So you have number of jazz, okay, number of jazz intersection R intersection F. That's the intersect, the one that intersects all of them, plus number of jazz intersection R complement intersection F complement, plus number of jazz complement intersection R intersection F. All right, plus number of jazz complement intersection R complement intersection F. Okay, plus, so I have included I've included this, and this. All right, plus now let me include this number of jazz intersection R, right? Number of jazz intersection R. Also, number of, let me put this now, number of reggae intersection funk. Okay, plus number of, just follow the formula. I'm trying to write out the formula so that you can see, so that it will not just be that we are just adding all the numbers together. You will know the reason why we're adding them together. So to mean this, number of jazz intersection F. Okay, that's this other number here. Okay, what does it mean? So number, it means this one that does not belong to any of the category. So um, that's number of jazz. That's number of, so number of jazz union R union F complement. Now I didn't talk about union. This number of jazz union reggae union funk simply means is the addition of all of these students that like listening to all the three types of music, whether jazz only, reggae only, funk only, then any of the two music or any of the three music. So combination of all of them, okay, that partook in the listening to the music. Okay, so those are the union. We are uniting all of them together. But those that do not like listening to any of the music is going to be complement of those ones. So that means addition of all this up to number of jazz intersection funk simply means a number of jazz union reggae union funk. So complement of all of that is what will give us the total number of is what will give us the number of students that do not like listening to any of the music. All right, let me explain it again. You see, all these ones that I've written before I wrote this final one, they simply means the union of all the three categories, everything that is within the circles. Okay, so everything that is within the circles, apart from the one that does not like listening to any of them. So the one that does not like listening to any of them is going to be complement of those ones that like listening to the music. And so that is 32. All right. So it means if I was not given this 32, and I have calculated all the union of the three categories, and perhaps I was given the universal set, right? So it means I can subtract addition of all this in the circle from the universal set to get those that do not like listening to any of the music. All right. So and that is simplified already. So we can say number of universal is equals to can I add? So that's 3 3 plus 13 plus 14 plus 14 plus 7 plus 6 plus 7 again plus what else have we not added? J intersection F is 7, so plus 32. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so you have that. Okay, so this is going to give us 3 plus 13, that's 26, and 3 plus 13, that's 16, plus 14, that's 30, okay, plus 14, that's 44, plus 7, that's 51, plus 6, that's 57, plus 7, that's 64, 64 plus 32, that's 96, 96. Let's take it again. 3 plus 13, 16, plus 14, that's 30, 44, 51, 57, 64, 96. So the total number of the students that were interviewed will give us 96. All right, give us 96. So that is it. So remember, um, your failure is not the end point. It's a stepping stone to success. So believe that you can do better. If you believe that you can do better, you're going to do better. And your ability to do better, apart from your belief system, is dependent on the action that you take. Successful actions leads to successful results, and that includes your reading, studying voraciously to achieve your success. Success is achievable. All right. So bye till we meet next class. I remain to the Rema Bye for now.